Hello, friends. It's Brooke-Sidney, your favorite mindset and manifestation coach. And today I'm so excited to change the way that you think about manifestation forever. It's this simple truth that the future you, the version of you that you are trying to become, the version of you that has all your manifestations, is the version of you that God sees. In essence, your future you is the way that God sees you. And I'm going to break this down to you today in about 5 key points. So get out your pad and paper and get ready for this. But for those of you that already know that you want to work with me, there are 2 ways that you can work with me. There's one-on-one coaching, and I'm also now releasing, I'm super excited, y'all. I'm super excited about the Stillness School. So get on the wait list for that. It is opening soon, and more details will be coming in the next couple of weeks. So the first point that I want to make about the future you being the way that God sees you is, we'll call it the divine vision. When God gives us a dream, an idea, shows us something, this is not random. I know so many of you don't actually trust the vision that you have in your mind or the dreams that you have. I would love for you to consider it as revelation. It's heaven showing you what's already written in your destiny should you choose to become that version of you. In the Bible, it says, I declare the end from the beginning. That means that God already saw this version of you, this completed you, this future you from the beginning. So that vision that you have, that relationship, that book, the more money, the things you're trying to manifest, it's not something that you pulled out of thin air. It's a memory of who God already told you you were going to be. Many of you have already been given a vision. We're just not walking in it yet. And so your job in manifestation is to align your faith, your thoughts, your words, your actions, and your energy with the version of you that God already sees. You're not trying to convince God or anyone else of your worthiness. You're already worthy. You're just aligning with God's established truth about who you really are. The next point is like why we don't actually see it. That's the trouble with most of my clients. That's been my trouble in the past. The reason that we often feel discouraged from that vision or that version, that future you, is because we're still identifying with our past self or our past hurts or our past self-doubts. We are praying or we are manifesting from our pain and not our promise. We're focused on that pain and not our possibilities or our potential. And again, we're moving from old programming, check out that video, that is all about fear, doubt, worry, and the identity of I'm not there yet. But manifestation is not about readiness, right? Manifestation is not about being perfect. It's about remembering who we truly are and whose we truly are. And you're remembering who you are in God's eyes. I believe that's what God is showing me. That is the future you. So then again, all we're trying to do is line up our thoughts, emotions, and our actions with that version, that new divine aligned identity. And when we do that, you can call it divine remembrance. That's when miracles happen. That's when manifestation occurs. I feel like it's also the time when we stop begging God to like move mountains and so forth. We start moving the mountain because, and there's even a book about it called The Mountain Is You, right? When we start aligning with that divine vision of who we are, that future self, when we become that person, manifestations happen. So the next point, which I want to really touch on, which I think is kind of at the heart of it, is how do we align ourselves with that future you, with the way that God sees us? It's like, how do we begin living in that divine identity? The number one thing, and I think I talked about it in my last video, so I will tag it, is we want to renew our minds daily. To me, that is what all of this is about. And there's so many tools and so many ways that we can do that. But it begins with obviously having a heart for God, but then we want to renew our minds daily. The Bible says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That means, quite frankly, checking your inner dialogue, right? Reviewing how you're thinking and talking to yourself. Would the version of you that God sees be talking to you about fear or lack? Would they be talking to you about all the things you cannot have and all the things that you cannot do? Or with the version of you that God sees, see a way through, right? See a way to peace, prosperity, power, possibility, and all of your potential. I think the number 2 way to do this after renewing your mind is to visualize through God's eyes. That means, to me, the highest potential. Like, stretch yourself, have a divine imagination, stretch, 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 stretch. See your goal, see your life bigger than what it is right now. See your life as God sees it, which is full of like abundance and possibility and purpose. And if you don't see it, just ask God, how do you see me? God, how do you see this vision? God, what should I do? Right? Get the divine vision. And if you have trouble catching the divine vision, I have a tool for that, and I'll tag that in the show notes. So once you get that vision, let that image, let that download become your guide and print it on your heart. Like, get so serious about that new version of you and what God has shown you. And then number 3, act like it is already done. That's the embodiment piece. Faith is not just belief, it's embodiment. When you make decisions, set boundaries, spend money, who you spend your time with, in alignment with that vision, that is walking by faith and not just by sight. And that's when your reality starts to catch up with your vision. Number 4 is your identity is the bridge. On this channel, we talk a lot about making miracles manifest, and it's not about getting something out there. It's becoming the version of you. And today we're talking about the future version of you, which is the version that God sees. Every manifestation in reality is an identity shift. You can't receive at the old level of you. You're not even in alignment with it anymore. You receive at the level of who you become. So ask yourself, am I identifying as the woman or man that has my miracle or has my manifestation? Or am I identifying with the person who hopes for it, who wishes for it, who wants it, but doesn't have it? I know it's hard to believe. And in fact, it's something my son and I have been talking about, and a spiritual truth that even he learned recently on a camp trip to this beautiful God camp called Camp Hume. It's in California here. And one of the things my son came home and shared with me was about how God's timing wasn't a delay. It really was alignment. He has learned this principle at 11. God is simply giving you time to step into the version of you that already has it, the version of you that God already sees. It's also the version of you that can hold what you've been praying for. I often feel this so deep in my soul that I have to prepare myself, right? And sometimes it's merely a choice. Sometimes it's merely a decision, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is the process of changing our thoughts, of changing our mind about ourselves. Sometimes it is figuring out, what is blocking me? What about my past? What about my hurts? What about my wounds are keeping me from seeing myself and my life the way that God sees me and the version of myself who has the manifestation? That is the work. Sometimes it's an instant, and sometimes it's a removal of the things that are blocking our path in the way of our manifestation. And I believe when you stop seeing yourself full of lack, doubt, fear, and you start seeing yourself as the one that God's chosen, right? The one that's anointed, aligned, empowered, abundant, that future you, then you align with, as some people call, heaven's timeline. Now you're in God's timing. So today, I want you to stop chasing that future you and become him or her. I would love for you, I pray for you to see yourself as God sees you. And that's complete, that's whole, that's abundant, that's a beautiful, that's already worthy. And then you'll start walking in your answered prayer or in your manifestation. I believe this isn't pretending. I would call it prophetic alignment. It's choosing to agree with God, about who you are at your core. And when you do, manifestation stops feeling like striving and starts feeling like flowing in stillness. Because the version of you that God sees, she's already done it. She's already living it. He's already living it. And all that is left for you to do is to match that energy and even match that knowingness. And if this message spoke to you, spoke to your heart, as I mentioned before, there are 2 ways that you can go deeper and work with me. First, if you're ready to align your energy, your mindset, your energy with the way in which God sees you and the way that you know that you can step into this future you, book a one-on-one manifestation session with me. Together, we'll identify where the old programming is, where that old mindset and old beliefs are, the things that are blocking your divine identity, and I'll help you walk fully in your power. And second, if your soul is craving more quiet, more space, more peace, and a deeper intimacy with God, join the waitlist for the Stillness School. It's where you will learn how to go deeper in all of those things, along with manifesting the life of your dreams. I believe it's for the ones of us who want to manifest without the hustle. We're done with it. And we're ready to manifest in alignment with the divine and in stillness, right? To feel a sense of peace, a sense of flow. It's going to be a place where we don't chase what is already ours. You'll find the link to both of these below. And so today, if you walk away with nothing else, I'd love for you to remember, when you start seeing yourself the way that God sees you, which is your future you, miracles become an everyday occurrence. They're no longer random. They're inevitable. I'll see you in the next video.